show. So thanks so much for everybody who wanted to join here and learn from Bev. She so graciously offered to do this for everybody. Hopefully you guys were here when we did the first round with Bev. She was so inspirational with her videos that everybody was asking to do this class. So she volunteered her time, and it is going to be about 2 hours, but if you have to drop off, let us know and we'll circle back with you. So I let you take it away, Bev.
Sounds good. Just so you'll know what's coming, the first hour, I'm going to give you the basics of targeted marketing through Adobe Rush. And in the second hour, we're actually going to build a video together. So hopefully you can stay for both, because it's more valuable if you see it all in the application. But I want to give you some tips on doing it. My background is marketing and internet, and I owned a marketing internet company, went into real estate, and felt like there was just a lot of fun things that other states were doing that we weren't doing here. So we do a lot of things that are different, but I'm all about meeting our target market. I sell lake houses. We're north of Atlanta, and so we're all about creating a lifestyle feeling with everything we do. So we don't just sell houses, we sell a lifestyle, and you do too. I mean, regardless of where your market is, you're selling a lifestyle. So to target your videos to the lifestyle that you're trying to sell, that's how you get people to look at your stuff, basically. So I wanted to share my screen and show you a couple of the videos that we have done and talk about the pieces of them. So here we go. Where shall I start? I'm going to start with this. It's not letting me share screen. Can you access?
Kristen, can you let her share the screen? I think you have to change that.
Can you try it now?
Yeah. Okay. There you go. Looks like you can see it now.
Yep, we sure can.
Very good. So this is something I publish every week. It has music to it, so I'm not playing it right now, but I wanted to talk about the pieces of it. This part down here, that's an actual motion video. And the reason I use motion video is it just catches people's eye quicker. The reason I do statistics is because people don't care about me, they care about themselves, which is to be expected. And so we want to give them information that they can use. If you own a lake house, or if you think you want to own a lake house, wouldn't you like to know, what the prices are, how many are in the contract, what your competition is? So I'm going to go ahead and play this, and then I'll talk about some pieces of it. Did you hear the birds in the background? There are two soundtracks on this one. It's a bird soundtrack and the music soundtrack. So for us, we're trying to reinforce that we're lake people. So it's always a picture of something relating to the lake. It's always a video, and I'm going to show you where to get those without having to go shoot them yourself. I do have our logo on it. We're the Good Life Group. We sell lake houses. And my most recent ones, I have the Good Life Group and my brokerage, because we're required to do that. So those are the pieces. You're going to have a video. You're going to have a frame. And I've made some frames for you, but based on your input, I'll make more if you tell me what you want. The rope indicates it's kind of reminiscent of anything lake related, right? So all this is reinforcing our branding, right? I'm going to show you another one. So one of the things that we did, and we actually made one of these for Florida and one for Georgia. This is the one for Florida. So you send me your people, Sandra, and I'll send you mine.
Absolutely.
Because we are one of your feeder markets too. We can't say that it's a great family place to live. You're not allowed to say that. You're not allowed to say that if you're a grandparent, your grandkids will come. These are my grandsons jumping off of the jumping rock. This is Darlene Plavkin, who's part of our group. And this shows a grandfather and grandsons. You can send messages through the video you can't say. And so it's kind of part of sending a message without getting in trouble, and also just letting them envision where they are in life in your videos. So that's another one we did. And I'm going to show you one more, and then we're going to start talking about how you put these together. Okay, I'm going to show you the first one I did. This one is very amateurish, but it got me hooked. And the reason I say that is I got so much attention for this video. It was a kind of a magical looking house in a city called Cumming. And I did animation. These are ancient pictures. They were 10 years old. And then we took a little video and then put it all together. But as sort of tacky as this is, it got so much attention because it was different. And so even though it wasn't the best, it was different and it caught people's eye. So I want to talk to you about the pieces of these and how you put it together. And one of the things that I was asking my assistant, who my manager of operations, is what do you use? And a lot of people use Canva, and Canva is to me, it's built for young people. It's great. A lot of people love it. But I think the templates are not right for my target market. They might not be right for your target market. So this allows you to do something that nobody else is doing. You can use your creative. So if you're a creative person and you know your target market, then this can be designed to build visuals that capture your people's attention. So like our target market's mostly 50 to 65 because people want to retire at the lake, right? And they want their grandkids and their kids to come see them. So a lot of the things we do reinforce that that's an option. So the program that I just started is Adobe Rush, and it's part of the Adobe suite. Hopefully somebody in your organization has the Adobe suite. If you use Photoshop, they probably do. Photoshop is part of the Adobe suite, Illustrator, and then this is Adobe Rush. Adobe Rush is a simple video creation program, and there's a more robust one, but it's much harder to use. So I wanted to show you how to use this one because it would have saved me a million headaches if someone had just sat down and kind of given me the overall view of this. It's actually really easy. I can just whip it up right now. But at the beginning, I just struggled and Googled every single question and so forth. So I want to bring up a video that has several pieces. So I'm going to do that now. You can create a new project from the screen, create a new project, or you can open up an existing project. And one of the things I don't love about this is it doesn't allow you to put things in a folder. So everything's just kind of here, you know, I mean, you have to just scroll through and figure out, you know, what's where. Sometimes it takes a while to scroll, but let me bring up one and I'll show you what the screen looks like on one that has been created. All right, so this is the screen of an already existing video that I created. The first thing you want to do when you go into the screen is click on this icon down here in the bottom left. And what that does is it shows you your timeline options. This is your timeline. You're going to have,
I'm not sure if everybody else is seeing what I'm seeing, but I'm still on the coming soon video.
okay, let me stop sharing and start again. When you bounce around screens, sometimes it loses it.
I know, it's hard.
Okay. You should see Lakeland
Yep.
Lifestyle.
There we
Okay.
go. Much better. Thank you.
All right. Well, then let me say again, once you get in here, click on this icon down at the bottom left. Can you see my cursor in the
Yep.
bottom left? That shows this stuff. And this lets you lock a layer, it lets you turn the sound on and off, lets you turn the visual on and off. And so the first 4 tracks, those are video tracks. Now, a video could be a motion video. It could be a still shot. It could be a label, or it could be a template. So right now, the template we have on here is this stuff, which is my logo and just kind of a title. The bottom 3 tracks are sound. So you can put music. You heard on one of the first ones I did, you heard birds. And then you, if you have a better voice than I do, you can narrate. And my recommendation, if you do decide to narrate your video, and that's cool if you have a voice that sounds good on tape, is get a microphone, because it's very hard to make it sound good if you're just talking into your computer's mic. But another way to do it is on your cell phone, you're able to record sound. So I have recorded it on my cell phone. It sounded much better. And then just use that as a soundtrack. That makes sense? So
Yep.
in this particular one, we have the kind of the template. We have video and we have sound. Okay. So those are the pieces. Now, if you want to play the video, you can either move this marker to where you want to start, or you can move this marker. So if you wanted to play it from the beginning, you move it to the beginning. This icon here, it's to the bottom right of the viewing screen, lets you choose basically where you're going to display this. Like, I've started using all squares, and I'll show you why in a minute, because I'm able to put a square on anything, really. But I also put it on my website. So every week I have an update on my website of linked statistics. So a 1-to-1 is a square. 16 by 9, that's your standard screen. If you were doing just a regular tour based on stills, you would use 16 by 9. And then the other 2, portrait, are usually used for like a reel, something like you shot with your cell phone and wanted to string together. You'd probably use one of these. The 4 to 5 is typically LinkedIn. So those are easy to look up on Google if you forget that. And I have the actual suggested sizes for the different platforms. So I will read this to you in a little bit. So these are the pieces to it. So let's put one together. And I'll just do a real simple one. So I'm going to go back to the home icon. I'm going to the home. I'm going to say create a new project. And the first thing it wants me to do is give it a title. And I'm just going to call this for class. Okay. And then it wants you to navigate to where on your computer you have the files. Well, for the class, I put all the files in one folder. So I'm going to go to that. And this takes a while to display because it's going to load all those things so you can see them. Okay. Zoom screen is in front of a folder. So this is when sometimes I lose you. I've been kind of in and out of screens. Can you still see where I am? I'm navigating.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, we can see you, or
Awesome.
where you're going. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm in the Adobe Rush folder. So what I want to do is enter a bunch of still pictures. Okay. So I just went ahead and loaded some in here. I'm going to press the control key. And I'm going to just insert a bunch of still pictures. So let me just move that. Zoom screen again and hit create. So that's going to create a video with the stills that you loaded. Okay. And I can play it right now. So you'll see that if you just did that, if you just only did that, you're still going to get a video. So it's pretty easy, right? And you can see it automatically has a zoom in and zoom out feature. Well, I want to start over. I want to maybe move some things around. So I think the best picture is maybe this one. So I can just click on it and drag and move it around like that. Okay. And if you want to resize it, you watch my cursor. I'm going to go to the edge and see how it changes the shape. I can make that last longer. So I'm just giving it 4 seconds of playing time instead of the default. So now if I played it, so if that's all you want to do, that's quite simple, right? One of the things that took me forever to find is, okay, great, but now when I have 50 of these pictures, I'm not going to be able to see them all. So the way you control that is in the very bottom. You see this little draggy thing? If you drag it to the right, it's going to condense this. The time is the same. It's just the display that changes. If you need to get closer to things, then you can drag it to the left. So if you don't remember anything else, you can click around and play with this program, but remember that because it took me a while to find that. I did not know how to fix that. Okay. So we have pictures. Now, wouldn't it be nice if we could have a transition between the pictures? And I recommend doing transitions last because you fiddle around with it so much it loses the transitions. But the transitions are controlled by this button here. Top right, see, looks like a lightning. Okay. So I'm going to click on the first slide and I'm going to tell it to dissolve. Okay. And y'all know from PowerPoint probably what dissolve looks like, but I'm going to just tell it dissolve it. So you can see it kind of dissolved, but that was awfully quick. It didn't have much impact. So the transition is this little guy right here, this and this. You can see it's a bit of a shadow. So I'm going to click on that. I'm going to drag it so it dissolves in a little slower, so it has more of an impact. It's still pretty quick, but you can make it have more of an impact. Okay. So other transitions might be wipe down. Now, when I use wipe down, it's usually for a text, some kind of text, and it sort of wipes down. It's almost always too fast to see if you leave it at the default. So I like to give it more. So far, you with me?
So far, so good.
Okay. So there's a fade, a dissolve, there's a wipe down. And because it puts it at the beginning and the end, it wipes down the last one too. Now maybe you don't want the last one to wipe down. So you can click on the transition. It's not the slide. If you wanted the slide, you click on the slide. But to click just on the transition, you can press the delete key to get rid of that. You can make it quicker, or you can slide it all the way over to only transition the second slide. Yeah. So, okay. So we've got some slides in there. Wouldn't it be great to add some video in there somewhere? Maybe start with video. So wherever you want to insert something, you're going to position this at the beginning and go up to this plus sign. Top left, see it's plus sign, it's blue. And I'm going to say your media. So I'm going to insert my media. And okay, Don't know. This is a video I shot from the lake. This house.
Hey, this is Bev Knight. I'm on the lake. This is the first barefoot day of 2024.
Okay, so that's not the video, that's not the audio that I want. Okay, so I'm going to go over here to this track and turn off the sound. And you do that by just clicking on the sound icon, and it turns off the sound. Okay. All right, so let's just play a little bit of that and see what it looks like. Fade it in and go into the motion video. Oh no, it's way too long. Nobody will ever watch it for that long, so we need to clip it. So on this video, I went from far away to close up. So I want to clip it there. So I'm going to go over here to my tools, and you see there's scissors. Now it's two pieces as opposed to one long video. It's two pieces. So this is the piece I like. This piece isn't very impactful. So I'm just going to right click on it and delete it. Still with me? So let's just see what that looks like. Okay. So one thing you'll notice that this is probably too big for this frame. So I want to resize it so it fits in. And the way you resize it, and you're going to do this a lot. So the way that you're going to resize a picture or a video, or you can also crop a video. But the way you do that is you make sure you've clicked on it, make sure it's what's selected down there. And you go to this last tool on the right, this tool right here. All right. And on this screen, you can change the size, change the opacity. So maybe your logo, you want it to just be sort of a shadow over your video. You can do that here. But the main thing you'll do here is just change the size. So go to width, and it's proportional. Okay. So interesting, this is a different shape. Okay. But really this was the shape I had in mind. So I can still go in here and change the shape. So it fits something you shot with a cell phone. I'm doing mostly squares now, but this fits with a shot from a cell phone. Okay. So let's see how that affects my other pictures. It probably does. Yeah. So we might have to resize those as well. So really, you have a video. You're mostly done, right? If you wanted to narrate, I'm not going to do it, but I'm going to show you how to get to it. I've clicked on the plus to add something. I clicked on voiceover, and it lets you record just like you would on your phone. So I'm not going to do that, but I am going to add music. So it has a bunch of different kinds of sounds. And you can go through them and you can do this for days. But one of my favorites is birds. Because that's the lifestyle I sell, right? Okay. So let's add that. Okay, you'll see that it landed where my line was. Okay, that's not really what I had in mind. I wanted to start with the whole video, so I'm going to move it over to the beginning. Okay, and so when I play my video now, it's going to play that. So that's kind of stark, right? That's kind of like, boom, you got music. And, you know, if you're sitting at work doing something that shouldn't, you're not going to know it's coming. So you can also put a transition on music. And so the way you do that is the same way you put a transition on a video. You click on this tool, and it's always going to be dissolve. Okay. That's a real short transition. I'm going to play it for you and show you how short it is. You almost always have to lengthen it. But it's almost immediately full blast, right? And so if I do it like this, and it's a slower transition. See how it kind of rises in volume? And where that's most important is at the end. So I like for it to fade out and everything in together. So we've got the music and the last slide fading out together. So let's make this fade out. Let's make this fade out. So that's a transition. That's a transition. Play just that part for you. See how this subtly it just faded out? Okay. So you made a video. I mean, that's really the basics of it. If you're not too overwhelmed, I'll go into some of the more subtle things that you can do. But if you have questions, this is probably a good time to ask me a question. One of the questions I get a lot is, where do you get your clips, your video clips? And I will show you. To do this, I'm going to go to another screen. So if I lose you, just let me know.
So a couple of questions, Bev. Somebody is asking if you can upload different music.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Let me show you how what that looks like. Okay, so that's maybe that's too energetic for your target market, right? I'm just deleting that clip. So what I want to do is I'll start at the beginning. I have a music folder, and if you want something on your computer, you click on the plus and go to your media. And I'm going to have to navigate to my music file. You know, I'm so hooked on this, I can't even tell you how much time I spend. I go out to the places where I get this stuff and just go through the music for hours, and it's just fun.
It's like watching social media, right? Like you get sucked in and you go down a rabbit hole, and next thing you know, it's 3 hours later.
Yeah, exactly. And then you hear a song and think, oh, that would be great for such and such, 4th of July. I want to do that, you know, patriotic. So I did a Thanksgiving video and I used Amazing Grace. I did a 4th of July. I used America the Beautiful. I'm trying to think, what are some of the fun ones? Happy Day. There's one. Are we the Good Life group? There's one that's something about the good life. But one of my favorites is Nature's Lullaby. I use this a lot. Let's see, because we sell outdoor stuff. Okay, so the first thing I can tell from this one is you can see the sound waves at the bottom, right? So it's going to be quiet for this whole time. That doesn't work for me. So I'm going to move my line to where the sound starts. Make a cut. So now this is two different ones, right? So I want to get rid of this. I right click on it, hit delete clip, and move that in. Okay. You hear the birds?
I'm not hearing it on my end. I don't know if everybody else can hear it, but
Can you hear anything?
not that time.
Okay. Well, there's a real pretty harpy sounding. Let me try reconnecting, see if that makes a difference. Stop share. Because you want your music to match your visuals, right? And again, what we're trying to do is create a feeling, because you're going to sell to your engineers, you're going to give them statistics, and I do that weekly, right? This is for the people who want to feel something, and that's what engages them. So let me try again. Let's see if we can hear it. I see no reaction. Let me turn it up. Let me see if turning it up would help you hear it. This is where you would turn it up, the second to the bottom. Okay, so it's at a, oh, it's already turned on. Let's see, that's probably, it might be really loud. I don't know. Let's see what happens. Can you hear it?
No.
Okay, I'm sorry. But anyway, that's a real subtle, slow sounding song that has bird sounds in the background. So that's it.
Nice. So a couple other questions. I'm going to skip around these questions a little bit, just to
Okay.
keep us in the order we're going.
Okay.
Where can you get other pictures besides your listing to add to the video?
That's a great question, and I'll show you right now. There are lots of places that sell these things. I subscribe to Adobe, and I'm trying to move. All right. Well, before I go to another screen, let me show you this. Remember the first status statistics thing that I showed you? I'm able to put that on my website. And so I've created a space. This is my website. I've created a space on my website where I can put that every week. And do you know why that's a big deal? To be able to put something out there every week?
Bev, were you trying to show us your website? We're still on the video.
Okay, let me try reconnecting. Can you see my website?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Good. All right, so I have two websites, but this is one of them. And you remember the video that I showed you at first, the stats video? I do this every week. I put it on my website and I changed this little blurb up here. And the value of that is, y'all, if you don't know what SEO is, tell me, but you probably do. It raises your SEO score on Google. So you're making a change every week, and that makes you look like a really active webmaster, and it raises your score. So you don't have to pay to come up in the searches. It just brings you up because you're making lots of changes. So that's something I do. This is why I do the splitters. And this is also why it has a border and why it's designed this way. But anyway, All right, so that's my website, but let me show you where I get. Are you seeing stockadobe.com?
Yep.
Can you see it? Okay, good. All right, so I'm in videos because I was most recently looking for videos. But somebody tell me a category you'd like to see. Something in your market downtown or ocean or mountains, or tell me something you'd like to search for.
Let's do oceans.
Okay. So I do have a water of the lake, but let's be more specific. Let's think about a lifestyle on the ocean, surfing or fishing, something that somebody is going to connect to. What's a specific lifestyle picture that you'd like to?
Let's do scuba diving.
Okay. So as you think about this, you think, now what is my target market going to connect to? What's my hook? And for us, there's so many, it's like canoeing and fishing and, whatever, skiing, wakeboarding, so forth. But yours will be different. You have a different target market. Are your buyers going to be, and sellers, going to be 20s, 30s? Are they going to be 40s and 50s? Are they going to be 60 retiring? So everybody has a different motivation. For us, that person that's an empty nester wants to know their kids will come see them and their grandkids will come see them. So we have a lot of things that age group is interested in. We can't say this is great for a grandparent because we just can't target like that. But we can show pictures of everything. And so we try to show a lot of different views of things that people like. So as you hover over these, you can see that they're motion video. That's scary. That looks like barracudas. But you might an adventure. That's a pretty shot.
Mhm.
But like for example, in one of the things that we do, we have a template and it has words cut out of the template and we show stuff behind it, like fish. And I'll show you how to do that in just a minute. So that's basically where I get it. You can also get audio. And there are a lot of sites for this. This is the one I use. I've tried so many. Oh, scuba, there's a scuba song. If you can't hear it, it sounded like you're being chased by a shark. So,
Yeah, we heard it. We heard it.
you heard it. Okay, good. So you can get those types of things and things that you'll never shoot. Like a lot of the things in my video are my shots, but a lot of the things are not. And a lot of these are free. So you can go to Adobe, this is stock.adobe.com and go to the free stuff and find a lot of stuff. I mean, there's a lot that you can get for nothing. So that's where I get those clips, and you can find just about anything. Like I'm trying to think of a quirky one, like, and we're going to build something with this. So yesterday I got butterflies, and I downloaded one of these. I can't remember. Those are the free ones, but I'm going to go to them. And I can tell you that this is the one I downloaded. That looks so cool when it's inserted into a word.
Hmm.
All right. So anyway,
So Bev, somebody's asking if you can a video from Adobe and that will help the SEO with that video.
I don't think it registers a video, but the way I insert a video is for my provider, it has to be a YouTube link. And that doesn't help your SEO, but if you put a caption on it, and which you need to, and change it every week, that does. So if you can caption your video, that's going to raise your SEO score.
Okay, when you say caption, what does that mean?
Let me go back.
Sorry, we're kind of jumping you around here.
No, that's okay. That's what I wanted. Okay. Um, see this up here? Those are, so Google and others, they index your site. And when there's a change, they make a note of it. And when you make a change, then you get like points, I guess is the way to say it. And this is a textual change, and it will register that. You will get points for that. I'm
So you're
told
actually changing that every week,
Every-
you're changing that
yes,
text above it?
yes. Like
Okay.
this week, the rates went up, but the lake is up. So, I actually, I'm trying to get people to follow us on Facebook and Instagram. So rather than kind of summarize this, I told them to follow us, but usually there's something to do with what happened this week. Like this week, the rates went up. It's raining, so the lake is up, different things like that. But
Got it.
this is so, nobody else does this. And to me, that's just the jazz of it. Just like my competition, they don't do this, and they do something, but not this, so I love doing anything that's different that kind of sets us apart because that's your job. There are too many
Yeah.
real estate agents right now, right? So how are you different? How are you better? And how are you the innovator? How do you convey that I'm an innovator? And
Right. And it's just fun. It's like it's an active website. It's not like just a static, like, okay, this is a lot of words to read. Like it's something fun that draws your attention.
right, exactly. All right, so if we're pretty comfortable with that, did you have any other questions?
Yeah, so we also have, once the design is created, do you just download to the computer and upload to social media? What does
I'll show,
that step look like?
I'll show you. Are we still screen sharing? Do you see my Adobe Rush screen?
I see your beautiful face.
Not my face, my screen. I want you to see the screen. I'm going to go back to the home page. Can you see it?
Nope, we're still seeing your face.
Okay. Let me zoom it. I have too many things up.
The story of my life.
Too many irons in the fire, right? Oh, I can get back to Zoom. I'm not sure how to get back to it. Oh, there we go. All right, so I'm going to share screen again and go back to Rush. We're going to start a new video. So we're going to create a new project and we're going to use a template. And if you look at these things that I've done in the past, you'll see a lot of templates. These are templates and it allows you to display stuff in holes, basically holes in the graphic. All my status things are templates. And what I love about this, here's one you might like. What I love about templates is there's just so much you can do. Like this is one I co-listed with somebody, an Atlanta agent. Yeah, so let me go back home and we're going to create a new one. So that was an example of one where we use a template. So we're going to create a new project. I'm going to add a template. All right, so I have several. I guess I will do this. Okay, so again, the first thing you want to do is turn on the tracks so you can see. Okay. So this one is too big. So I need to resize it. So I'm going to go over here. I'm going to make this square because I almost always do. And the reason I make them square is a lot of the platforms will put like a sound icon there and different things. It gives you room to I guess mess up or whatever. You don't want to put things in the corners because different platforms put other stuff there. So you want to try to keep your corners kind of clear. Okay, so now we've got a script. These are not black boxes. This is a hole. Okay, I probably should have done this second, but let me see if it'll let me fix it. All right, so now I want to insert a video sometime. So y'all tell me what you prefer. Do you want me to put butterflies behind hot property or fire? You can tell me. Or fish. Or sunset.
I'll go with butterflies if nobody else has an opinion.
Okay. All right. So the butterflies are on top. So we want this to go up here and that to go there. Okay. Here's the problem. This is too big. So we need to resize it. So if we were just to play that part, this is what it would look like. Today. So let's fix that. Okay. So that's kind of crazy, kind of busy, but we'll just assume we love it. Okay. So the next thing you want to do is put the property video in there, or pictures, or motion video, or whatever you wanted to put in this hole, basically. And this is a template. This is one of the templates I'm going to give you. And then I'm just going to stick in some kind of property. All right, so this is where the layers come in. They put it in, so we're going to put it up here.
It's nice how simple it is. The dragging and dropping is pretty easy. I think the challenge is knowing what you can drag and drop, like just not knowing what you can do. But it seems like it's pretty easy once you know what the options are.
It really is. That's why I wanted to show it to you. I mean, it's really, once you get the basics down, you'd be surprised what you could do with it. I am maxing out my computer, I can tell, and it's going really slow, but I want to show you how to change this. So you have these stacked up, right? They're all stacked up. Now you can see this is over laying the butterflies. So y'all tell me what I should do here. What should I do here? How do we size it? So say, okay, that's great, but I really want it to be at least that big. But I don't need all this water down here. You can crop it. So I'm not going to do that. See that, but it can be cropped, so you can take out pieces. Okay, great. So we've got, it's a hot property. We've got the video in there. We need it all at the same place. Okay, I'm going to just move my line there, and I'm going to cut this one. Right click and delete. Okay. So right now we have, this is what we have. We have a cool graphic behind the hole that is the text. We have a cool graphic. Oh, that means I had music too. That's just part of a different video, but anyway, that's fine. Okay, but you know what we're missing here is, where is this? Say it's a house video. Where is this? So you want to add a label, right? Just right there. A save grid for a label right there. The labels are going to be this top option. It has a T. And they call it a graphic, but it's really just a label. And they have all kinds of cool stuff. This stuff drives me crazy, but you know, you can add whatever you want to in these different types. For example, there are a few cool ones. Like, to me, these don't meet my target market, but they might meet yours. Some of these are just kind of too flashy for my 60-year-old clients, but you know, like, I'll do this one just so you see what it looks like. And add a jump in. We're going to call it, we're going to give it an address. So I'm going to click on it and give it an address. 1, 2, 3. This is a tricky thing. Sometimes it's hard to select these. Once you get your label in there, you can change the font. You just highlight it like you would in a word processor. Change the font, change the size, whatever. You know, just basically just like you would in Word or something like that. Okay. If it's not in the right place, which in this case it's not, you're going to want to just click right on it. But a lot of times it's easier to catch it if you click kind of a little bit away from it, and you can see it. That was a jump. Personally, I never use that. I almost always just use basic, and I'll show you how to do that. And right click, get rid of that. Didn't like you, sorry. And I'm just going to go up here to titles. And I'm just going to, and you might want to write this down, because it took me a while to find this. There are a million little flashy ones, but I just want the basic. I use this one a million times a video. So I'm just going to add a basic title. It's going to be boring font. Let me see. And here you're just word processing. Find a font you like. And just let me give you a little advice on fonts. Don't use a different font for everything you do, because you'll never remember what it is, and it'll take so much time to get back to it. Try to find a font you like. Like, the one I use is Minion, because it's in our logo. So you don't have to use the font that they default to. You can change it. Another word of advice about titles. You might like, that might look good there, but once you turn it into a video, sometimes shadows and outlines get fuzzy depending on the resolution of the video. So you might use shadows, but you might not. So here we have a really funky eye catcher at the top. You know, you have a label to show what this is, and you have a cool video that's playing to get their attention. So let's see what that looks like. So if it just all starts out on the screen, it's not as catchy. So it helps to have things kind of move and transition in. Okay, so fine, that's cool. And this is actually pretty important. But butterflies are kind of busy and kind of distracting, so I think I just want to put fire in there, right?
Okay.
So here's something that I wish someone had explained to me. See all these yellow lines? All these things are now connected. So if you fool around with one of them, they're all going to change. So if you want to do something here, you're going to have to move the other stuff away from it. Okay, and I'll just have to show you. I don't know how to explain that better. I'm going to take this line, this track, press the control key, take that track, press the control key, take that track, and move it away from this video that it's tied to. And the reason is, if it was all still connected when I delete this, it would all delete. It's all like linked at that point. So now I can add another piece of video without disturbing what's already there. So let me see if I can get that fire. Up there, they go to my media. I think it's this one actually. This is a huge file. I uploaded it and it's huge, so it may not like it. No, doesn't like it. That's fine. Okay, so you probably look at this going, uh-oh, but it's still there. It just moved it all out. Okay, so we're going to move this back. The fire is. You'd be surprised how quickly you get good at this. My operations manager who's on this call, she would answer a few questions, but she knew it to some extent. And then I was cooking. I mean, it was super fun. Like my creative side loves this. So I like to create things that are different.
So somebody did ask, how long did it take you to become, pretty proficient? Like not an expert, but like good enough to do a couple videos for yourself to start with?
First day.
First day?
First day.
All right, guys, she's giving you the challenge. First day, you should all be able to do this. And I will, if people are asking about the video, I will send it out so that you can replay it as you create your first one. That's probably the easiest thing to do.
Yeah. So I resized this a little bit and I moved the hot property of good. And now let's see what it looks like.
Yeah, definitely better than the butterflies.
Yeah, but the butterflies have other possibilities, right?
Yep.
But let me cut that off. Oops, nope, can't do it. You can Control Z, you can turn it off. What you just said. Okay, so let's see how. And as you watch this, I want you to think: does my competition do this? Nope. And like you, okay, let me turn the sound off because this is another video that I made. So I want to turn the sound off for that. If we add sound, it won't be that. Okay. So you're thinking about, it's in the morning, you're going through Facebook and you're looking at this and it's, wow, that's different. I wonder who this is. And I wonder why they are doing these special things. And wow, look, that's a grandparent like me. And that's a, empty nester like me. Yeah, so it goes beyond. You just want it to be something that catches their eye so they stop the scroll and start watching
Right.
what that is. And you know that, if you've worked with social media at all, you know that stopping the scroll is the name of the game.
Yep. And you're creating emotion. You're evoking emotion out of people with all your videos that you feel like you're there.
Well, exactly. And you have to understand what their want is to meet it. To meet their want, you have to, like, I know that my people want their kids to come see them, you know?
Mhm.
We can't say anything about that, but that's what they want, right? Um, so I'm going to show you another one that we did that invokes emotion. And as you look at these, I want you to think about, I'm not even going to say, okay, once you get it done, I'm not going to do this because I don't really need to keep this. But once you get it
So
done,
you're gonna show us how you save it so that you can
yes,
go from here to
that's,
social media. Okay,
that's what I'm doing now. Yeah.
perfect.
So once you get it where you like it, and I would watch it at least 3 or 4 times because you're gonna see something that you missed. It's just hard to catch every little thing on it. And I'm all about, we're selling quality. These people think they can do it themselves. They cannot do this. These owners who want to for sale by owner, they're not going to be able to do this. At least not my demographic. Here's me, but this is unique, and it gives you value that you probably didn't have before. I know if you're like me, you paid somebody to do this. I'm a grandmother. And the whole social media thing just blew my mind. I was like, I don't know about that. I'm technical. I was an information systems major. I was in the software industry for years. I had a marketing company. But social media just sort of scared me. And I hired 3 different 20-somethings to do my social media for me. And they would do, happy ice cream day. And these are the colors of the day. Well, my clients don't care about that. I would get zero engagement with those. But when I started doing things that showed the pictures of what they care about, like my last statistics screen that I showed you, I think I'm up to 4,000 views on that since Monday.
Wow, that's impressive.
And there are 10,615 dot properties in the Premier, and I got 4,000 views. It's because they relate to it. It's what they care about. Okay, so you get your video done. You've watched it a bunch of times. You have it just like you want it. Then you go to share. So you have home, edit, share. Go to share. There's several things on the screen and zoom stuff out of it. I'm going to give it a name. Tell it where to save it, and then click export. And in video terms, this is called rendering, and it takes all these various pieces and puts it into a video. So I guess I'll go ahead and render it. That's what that. And it's basically just merging it into an MP4 file. And if I ever use a term you don't know, tell me. While this is rendering, my templates, your template, if you have a hole in your template, if you're going to show something underneath it, it must be a pinged file, .png. And the reason it has to be a pinged file is only a pinged file will have a vacant area. JPEG is everything's gonna be filled in white or black or whatever. Every bit of it's gonna have something in it, every pixel. But a pinged file allows you to create holes that you can see videos through. So now you've saved it. You just told it where to save it. So now you have that video somewhere, wherever you saved it. and you can post it on YouTube or wherever you want to post it. So rendering, go share, and we're going to render it. And then at this point, once you've rendered it, I would go ahead and play it, and just make sure, you know, I just left it like that, but make sure it looks like you thought it was going to.
So that when you just shared it, when you did that, it saved it to your computer? It didn't send it to social media, right? It just saves it on, like, in your Dropbox or something?
I saved it to Dropbox. You choose where you save it. And then you'll have an MP4 file out there. I have a folder called videos with a lot of stuff in it. I also keep a folder, and this is just a word of advice, having gone through this. I have a folder called video clips, and I have hundreds of video clips in it of things that are relevant. And even stuff like sky, I have a night sky video, which makes for a cool video. There are just so many things you can do. And again, you want to convey something. So I'm going to show you just a couple that convey something. And I'm open to, I will make another template for you guys, because if you sat through this, thank you for doing that. That's so cool. Then I want you to have a template that works for your market. So this was one I did for both Atlanta and for Florida. But I'm going to show you this is one of the first ones I did. In fact, might have been the second one. I'm not sure you're going to be able to hear it though. Okay, so I want people to know how fun it is to live on Lakeland. Right? So what's a good way to do that other than just make it fun? Can you hear the music?
Yeah.
Our grandsons, aren't they cute?
Mhm.
Grandson. Husband, son, grandson.
That's cute.
So did that make you feel anything? I mean,
Mhm.
any grandparents on the call? Well, in any event, hope so. If you are, I can tell you that just seeing kind of grandkids and grandparents having fun together, that's kind of a big deal. It creates a feeling. So I've gotten through a lot more than I thought I would. Do you have any
Yeah.
questions?
Yeah, let me read you some of the questions that we've got.
Okay, all right.
How do you import a template into Adobe? So if you, like, I think you mentioned you had some templates you could share with us. Like, how would you would share those with us, and then how do we upload them?
It's easy. You simply it's a picture. So it's like uploading a graphic. So this would be a template. And this would be a template. And really anything would be a template. I mean, you could make just about anything a template. So say you wanted to use this template, it's a picture. It's just a graphics file. So you're just going to click create, and now you have a template.
Okay, so we're saving it in our Dropbox, and then we're just uploading it just like we would upload a picture.
Correct. It's just a picture. And so if you're using this template, it's too big. Well, I'm going to do square. Make sure it's on square. It's too, okay. So now that I changed it to square, because it's a square template, and this is just a hole. So I can put something in that hole, and I will. I'll show you what that would look like. Okay, so we have, it has to be in the right order, you know, the template has to be above the, um, my Zoom controls are in the right, the right place to do that. Okay, so the template has to be on top.
Got it.
Right, so you probably want the, what kind of fish is that? Does anybody know? That's not a good fish, but I use that graphic anyway. All right, so I want to make sure I click on that. I want to resize it so I can get as much of it in there as I can. And so on something like this, I would say, let's put it a graphic and say, let's see. I'm just going to go to, this is pretty much all of it.
Well, somebody was asking, if the picture can just auto size itself, like when you have a template, if you can drop the picture on it and it should auto size itself.
If it's shaped like the thing that you chose, like if it's shaped, if it's a square picture, it will auto size into a square shaped presentation. But if you have like a rectangle presentation, it won't. You have to resize it.
Okay.
Let's see, let's give that a color.
And why do you prefer this program over Canva? I think you mentioned a little bit at the beginning, but I was not focused on the answer.
I think everybody uses Canva, and everybody's stuff looks the same. And I like this because it allows me to just be real super creative. I don't know Canva as well,
Okay.
but I think it's overcooked, to be honest. But you can fix it. I mean, you can make it do things, but I like this because nobody else uses it. And I just feel like it's,
Yeah. Can you do
It
video
look-
on Canva? I've only used it for like, I guess I would say like a flat file, so it's just pictures. I've never used it for a video.
okay. So we've got this created. It just took, what was that? Maybe 3 minutes. Did that catch your eye? If you're a fisherman,
Yeah.
you know,
Mhm.
I mean, it's all about that. That's like a window into a lifestyle, and that's the, you know, those are carp. You probably wouldn't eat carp, but in any event, that might not be the right thing for that. But you know, and there might be underwater some bubbles, like let's just see. Let's see if there's something about bubbles. So I'm looking for sounds that sound like they would go with bubbles. Which you have to go to the bathroom. Oh, that's a pretty good one. That does sort of sound like real water. Okay. Okay, well, this is actually creates another, not problem, but just another something to talk about. Okay, this sound is not as long as your video. So you can do a couple of things. You can slow this down, or you can duplicate it. If you want to duplicate it, you're going to right click on it and then duplicate it. Drag it up there. Okay, so now it's too long. So I'll show you. You could, if it was way out here, you can just cut it. But because it's not, you can just drag that to the edge of the video. So now you have a complete video to see. And it took 2 minutes. Can y'all hear the water?
Yeah. Mhm.
Okay. And so, you know, it's a feeling. That's something that might be of interest. Another cool thing that really catches people's attention. Again, you're gonna have to really think about. Of course, I talk a lot about my demographic. Yours would be different, and the newlyweds would be looking for something else, right? But okay, so I deleted that. I'm going to show you a friend that I have. So I told you a little bit about my demographic. Either empty nesters or grandparents. Well, I have one of kids laughing, which is just a really, really cool video. It's not coming up. I'm trying to find it. Anyway, you can basically play with it. And give it whatever look you want, right? I deleted my. I guess if there's one quirk, that would be it. You know, it's easy to delete something by accident.
Oh, yeah. Oops, too small. It's a Very
lot.
nice.
Yeah. Oh, and let's have lost a lot of people. So, did you have any other questions? Were there any other questions?
I had one more thing. Oh, if the template is placed on the top of the website, can you edit the template right from there? Or do you like, where do you edit that?
I create the templates in Photoshop. I usually do them in Photoshop. So if if someone has this software, they probably are Photoshop people. And I mean, no one who listens to your broadcast, somebody in their organization is Photoshop. And the trick is just to, I mean, I'll be glad to show you real quick if you want to see kind of what I do in Photoshop. But basically, you take a picture, you shape it in the proportions of what you're trying to create. Like this would be standard. And the perfect size, I'll just go and tell you the perfect sizes for that. Standard for Facebook would be 1200 by 630 pixels.
Bev, I think the question is more about the one that you have on your website, the little thing that you put there with the video. Like, is that, where do you change that? So you're changing that every week. Are you doing it in Rush? Are you doing it on the website? Like, where do you actually make the changes?
It's not dynamic. I have to actually upload that graphic to my website. And it really depends on how your website is created. I use iHouse Web, and I used to be a web designer, so I mean that was one of the things my company did. So I'm real picky, and they are wonderful. I've been talking to my rep there for years, and I told her I wish I could just put this on there. So she researched it, and came up with a way for me to upload it every week. So I did, and I do those statistics anyway, just keeping up with the market. So it just makes sense to share it with people, and then I'm bringing value to them. So
nice, love it.
Love it.
All right, I think got through most of the questions. If I missed any, I'm sorry. If you have, does anybody have any other questions for Bev? Oh, are there any sites that give you good times to post or general tips to improve your SEO?
There are sites that do that. I don't always, so our demographic's older. So for us, we are very focused on Facebook, because that's what 60-year-olds look at. You know, if you sell to younger people, we do IG too, but we really focus on Facebook. We think about if you're 60 years old, you're an empty nester, probably still working, but you know, thinking about retirement. What kinds of things are you looking at? And so we post in the morning. There are certain days that are better than others, but it really is kind of based on kind of who you're trying to reach. But there are websites that will tell you that. I can't tell you what they are. Maybe you Google it.
Okay. Yeah, and I hear what you're saying, that we need to tailor it to our audience. So, you know, older people may not be up as late at night, or maybe they up early in the morning. So tailoring it to the demographic or the people that you're trying to reach.
Exactly.
Makes sense.
It's targeted marketing. You know, it's my middle name.
And I think that's the last of our questions. I think we got through them all. I think everybody's like a little bit on overload right now. I think everybody needs to go and practice it, and maybe, you know, if they want to do a follow-up after they've actually played with it, we could set up another one, you know, based on the needs of what everybody who came to this session. What do you think about that?
I'm happy to do it. Sure.
Awesome. Does anybody have any questions before we let Bev go? Oh, maybe one question. Oh, I just got a great idea. So I think that we're at a good stopping point, if that's okay with everybody. And I'll send the video out once I get it from my office. And if you could just reply to me and say, you know, would you like a follow-up session, you know, 30 minutes, an hour, whatever, just give me a little bit of information, and we'll set that up, you know, for after you've had time to play with what we've done so far. Sound good?
You're welcome to email me at bev@housesonlinear.net, bev@housesonlinear.net, and I'm happy to answer questions. It was not such a big deal. That would be my full-time job. I'm happy to help.
Awesome. And if you have anybody who wants to move there, she's your gal. So
I got a lake house waiting with your name on it, I promise.
All right, everybody, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And we'll circle back with the video. So have a great rest of your day.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks.